Is Super Mario Bros. 3 one of the greatest Nintendo games of all time? Without a doubt. This is when Mario and Luigi really came into their own as the Plumber Brothers here to take down Bowser once and for all. This was also the introduction of the Koopa Kids, the Tanuki suit, Raccoon suit, and so much more. I have so many fond memories of playing this game with my brothers. The cartridge was always in heavy rotation in our NES, and so when I first heard about an quote-unquote update to the game in a new release called Super Mario All-Stars, I was a little skeptical. What did this mean? How could they improve what was already the best? Since we didn't have a Super Nintendo, this game was a little bit of a mystery to me until I finally got myself an SNES and bought Super Mario All-Stars. As soon as I booted up Super Mario 1, 2, and 3, and even the Lost levels, I knew it was like coming back to an old friend. While the overall structure of the game remained the same, the graphics and sound got a major overhaul, bringing it more in line with the appearance of Super Mario World. From the moment I started this series of Christmassy retro video game levels, I knew I wanted to return to Super Mario Bros. 3 and play through World 6, Iceland, to see just how Christmassy it might come across. I played through it in both the NES and the SNES versions, and ended up deciding to use the SNES version for this video since the graphical updates added a lot of fun Christmas vibe that the NES hardware simply couldn't deliver in the same way. World 6 is one of the longest worlds in the game, with 10 regular levels, 3 castles, 3 Hammer Bros, and the airship at the end. It's a world that keeps going and going, but in a good way. By this point in the game, you've got to have mastered the Mario moveset in order to survive, as the developers definitely throw some of the trickiest gameplay at you up to this point. For sure, things become more difficult in Worlds 7 and 8, but since we're here for the Christmas, we'll stick with World 6. The slip mechanics are treacherous, and if you are not careful, those perfectly timed jumps onto small icy platforms will send you careening off into the open chasms. You have multiple snow levels up in the sky, some with the dreaded auto scroll, and some allowing you to take more time. There are also numerous cave levels with water sections, challenging your best swimming skills to dodge the Cheep Cheeps and bloopers that come after you with gusto. The first level starts things off though more easily with a romp through the snowy woods with walking piranha plants called patuis throughout the course. Speaking of piranha plants, recently I was wearing a hat with a piranha plant on the bill, and one of my relatives asked me, "So what's up with the Christmas Venus flytrap?" So maybe when we weren't looking, Nintendo was actually sneaking in a Christmas red, green, and white plant right under our mustaches. The other levels here contain a mixture of ice blocks, tight jumps, falling donuts, and that auto scroll. The castles here, and yes, there are 3 of them, each present their own unique challenges. The first one is the easiest, with Mario taking a ride on a moving platform and dodging falling hot foots and roto discs, and then the second one comes along with ice everywhere, and thwomps flying at you in all directions with boos coming after you as well to trap you. This one will definitely take a few more tries to nail down, but once you do, you'll be sailing through. The last castle is my least favorite, with stretches, roto discs, and boos all teaming up to come after you and be at the worst locations possible at all times. I really believe there are a couple spots in this level it is near impossible to get through without taking damage. Once you beat these levels, defeat the Hammer Bros, which are all on ice here, with 2 platform levels and 2 Hammer Bros each, then it's on to the airship to fight Lemmy Koopa. This is the airship I remember so vividly, leaping on those spinning platforms trying to make it to the other side before I had to jump off because the auto scroll had pushed me along. This is one of the easier airships to finish, and Lemmy doesn't put up too much of a fight in the end. He throws bouncy balls at Mario and Luigi, and all you have to do is stay on top of them and stomp on Lemmy's head 3 times to defeat him. Overall, Iceland is a challenging world in Super Mario Bros. 3, and it is also a lot of fun. You can find the hammer suit here, which was always one of my favorite power-ups in the game. Mario is able to throw hammers and hit enemies through walls, which is a huge help in passing tricky sections. So, how Christmassy is it? In the graphics update for Super Mario All-Stars, you've got snow everything in the backgrounds. Mountains covered in snow, trees covered in snow, hills covered in snow, icy cavern walls sparkling in the light. You've also got lots of ice blocks throughout these courses, but not many ice-specific enemies, interestingly enough. I always thought some of these enemies could have been remixed to have a snowy vibe, but they just didn't do it. These levels aren't going to ring the Christmas bells necessarily, but they are definitely a fun playthrough in the winter Christmas season. So I'm going to give Iceland a solid 50% of a melting snowman. After Christmas is over, the sun has come out, and Frosty's kind of melting down slowly but surely on the front lawn. Only a couple more days left to find the most Christmassy level of all, and I believe with the recommendation I just received, it might just beat out Banjo-Kazooie's current title as the most Christmassy retro video game of them all. For now, I've got a couple more presents to wrap and a few more retro levels to beat, so we'll see you soon.